Believers, listen to me. Sometimes it's not what you don't know that's hindering you, it's what you know. Let me explain. Let's say you are from a household where both parents stay together, and if your grandparents and great grandparents stay together, they were married 40 years, 70 years married. I mean, you're from a bloodline where couples remain together for decades. So you think you know how sexual relationships also unfold because you're from a bloodline where couples remain together for decades. And see around you in society that couples got even lost 2 months with one another. So based upon your background, you have the confidence of how sexual relationships ought to work. But here's the thing. Your background is not Christ-centered. Those people did not serve God. They had tricks that they used on one another to capture sex partners for life. They did not walk by faith. They had no redemption. They had all types of mental and psychological issues going on. And man, those issues were transferred onto you also through the generations, so you're not even aware of it. What they called love between man and woman was narcissistic affection in which they used each other for supply. And society validated the supply seeking of the couple. And that's why it remains sustainable over time. So it's really an unstable situation that was enabled by society. But because you see that they've been together for decades, you automatically think that's true love. No. You have people in abusive, I don't want to call those things relationships, but there are people who live with narcissists for decades and don't even realize that they're living with a reprobate. There are people in abusive situations that stay in those abusive situations for, I would say, decades also. So if you have a woman that stays with an alcoholic husband that beats her all the time for 5 decades, is that true love? No. But or she, they've been together 5 decades, so those were 5 decades of misery that the woman could have avoided. She could have spent all those 5 decades with a man that treated her well. And of course, on camera, they will make pictures together and smile, and they will pass away, and the next generation will see, that's a couple that stayed together for 50 years. You see, in the past, marriage was far better than today. This generation doesn't know how to manage relationships. Hold on a minute. The facts you see in society today are the facts. In the past, the facts were covered up by society much better. So you see the cover up and assume that's success. So let's say now that that's the case of your background. You think that it's success. What they had was really a cover up by society. It kept the narcissistic exploitation going. So now you think you know how human sexual relationships ought to work, but you really don't. Because what is presented to you is a scam. So when you are of age and you want to find a life partner to glorify the Most High, you come with the knowledge you received from your ancestors who stayed together for decades. But if what they had was darkness, then what you received as knowledge is dark. It's dark knowledge. It works, but it's dark. So you need to be delivered from what you know. Let me give another example. Let's say that you grew up in the hood and you had this attitude, this self-defense mechanism that your environment taught you never take crap from anyone. When you walk down the street and someone looks weird at you, looks them straight in the eye in an intimidating way, and they leave you alone. In the hood, that works. Because if they keep looking at you and you don't show any strength, they'll perceive you as a pussy and they may try to act out on you. So that works. And you're taught also to be straight up and direct with what you want. Just throw out what you think. Now you leave the hood. You think you know how to deal with conflict. You know something that works in the hood. But the hood is a dysfunctional environment. So what you know in the hood may work in the hood, but it only works in keeping you in the hood. It doesn't work in delivering you from the hood and get the hood out of you. So now you leave the hood and you are in a work environment and you use those same coping mechanisms as you learn in the hood. Here, those coping mechanisms will get you fired. So it's not what you don't know that's hindering you, it's what you know. And with many of us, it's what we know that's hindering us. You may have grown up in church. Maybe you went to a Seventh-day Adventist church, or maybe you went to a Reformed church or a Baptist church or whatever. You grew up in church with a lot of biblical teachings. But those people did not walk in the power of Christ. So the vital thing of being a believer is to walk in the power. They never touched that because they never walked in the power. They only had extended paranormal relief by the pagan church. So when people come and talk to you about prayer, you think you know what prayer is about, but you don't. So what you know is dark knowledge. And it's that dark knowledge that hinders you. So often, what God does is that He puts us in a season of difficulty to show us that what we know is darkness. And why does God do that? So that we detach ourselves from the darkness we've been taught, so we learn the light. Because dark knowledge works, but it works against you in the long run. So beware of what you know, because what you know may be the reason why you're back. It may be the reason why you can't get free. It may be the reason why you're still in danger. Beware with what you know. Always examine what you know to see whether it's Christ-centered or not. Well, that's it for now. Keep on agreeing with Christ and be at peace.